Hello, everyone. Welcome to Music Scene Investigation. Rich Wildman here. Glad to have you with us today. I'm noticing something odd going on. It sounds like my audio is not up to the level it used to be, but I'm going to live with it. It's all good on my end. Just a word of warning, however, there are storms coming my way. So I just want to let you know that up front. If the lights go out, if we go dark, it's because I got hit by a tornado or lightning or something like that. It's all fun until somebody puts an eye out, and hopefully that won't happen. We're glad.
Don't worry, Rich is certain that he will bring live coverage of that storm to you for as long as he possibly can.
Absolutely will. You know it. All right.
Make sure you're holding that metal rod, be Ben Franklin.
It's called a microphone, and you better believe it. And we'd like to welcome everybody to Music Scene Investigation. We're glad to have you with us each and every week. If you are not viewing the show live, please do tune into MusicSceneInvestigation.com. And we do it every Sunday afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 p.m. GMT. And we'd be happy to have you in the chat room with us as well. At the bottom of the live window, there's a link that'll open up the chat room, and you can see what's going on. Interact with us that way. We're always happy to hear what you have to say about anything at all, as long as it pertains to the things we're talking about and the music we're playing. I don't know what that means, but they told me to say it. All right. We're also happy to have back with us this week Tom Chianti. Tom, great to see you back in New York.
Well, it's good to be back, Rich. I'm just, hold on. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, that's where the camera's pointed. Look this way.
Oh, wait a second.
No.
That's better.
So how are
just
you, Tom?
Slowly. I'm not blind yet.
You're looking awfully dapper.
I feel dapper. I feel very good. A lot of doctors took a look at me, and everyone was amazed.
Amazed at what aspects?
I still am alive.
Yeah.
I tell you, we were worried about you last week. We had heard you were in the hospital. I knew that you were planning on getting out the next day, but didn't know exactly what the status was or what the situation was at that time. So we were worried. We didn't know he had gotten out. So we're glad to see you back. Everybody in the chat room, wanted us to say, hey, get well soon. So, hey, get well soon.
Well, thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it. And I am doing wonderfully. I'm losing weight, eating well, rebuilding the studio, trying to finish it. And everything is good. Life is wonderful. Alana says hi. And nice to be here. Thank you.
I know that you had sent out a video to myself anyway about your new console. Did you post that to YouTube as well, Tom?
No, not yet. I'm compiling the whole before, during, and after, and going to make a nice little edited video of what the studio looked like before, and all the trouble that went into tearing down and building it up and installing. It's an all analog console. I'm going back a bit in time, but it does have a FireWire connection, and I can insert in the analog signal chain, any of my plugins from the computer.
Oh, well, that's very nice. It sounds like you're moving up in the world.
I tell you, things are just getting better here at the Cube. I'm going to have to start charging real money soon.
Instead of that Monopoly stuff, right?
Or the money you have.
Yeah, well, either way, you're doing good.
I'm trying.
All right, well, welcome back, Tom. We really are happy to see you back with us. Let's go over to London, England, and talk to Mr. Ian Husbands. Ian, I know you have someone special there, our guest panelist joining you this week. So I want to say hello to both you and Mr. John Schroeder. Hi, guys.
Hi there.
Hello. Sorry, I had to do the shave thing. I can't let Tom be the only one.
Well, now, so over in London, I know that things are quite exciting there at the Husbands domain.
It's always exciting when Mr. Schroeder comes round.
It's exactly what I mean. It's exactly what I mean. So we're happy that you could rope John Schroeder into coming over to your place, first of all.
Well, it didn't take a lot of convincing, to be honest.
Not really, no.
The paycheck's a bit heavy on my wages, but, we'll sort that one out.
Yeah. I decided he's worth the effort. And, he's a good lad.
He's worth the effort?
Worth the effort.
Worth the effort. I think you were right.
Yeah, that's right.
Feeling the love. Thank you very much.
Yeah, feeling the love.
Before we have a quick chat with John.
I am back.
Cheers, Tom. Glad to have you back. Box of crap, what are you doing? Any chance? No. Before we get chatting with John, we'll do the witness statement announcement.
Certainly. Please do. Let me recap last week for everyone. Our broadcast last week had 3 songs, as usual, in front of our panel. Kim Kondrashov with Cry Wolf was the Song of the Week selectee. S. Madison with Might Not Remember, and Incomplete Neighbor with Hall of Mirrors round out the 3 songs that the panelists had to select from. Ian, what did our audience have to say?
Well, I was outvoted last week. I felt Hall of Mirrors should have been the Song of the Week, but the guys voted for Cry Wolf by Kim Kondrashov. And that was the Song of the Week, except no one agreed with any of us.
Really?
That's because I wasn't there.
Yeah,
I would have with the other one.
Everyone went for Song 2, which was Might Not Remember by S. Madison. Best songwriting, 84% of the votes. Best performance, 76% of the votes. And best mixed production, 84% of the votes. So the viewers highly disagreed last week.
It sounds like it. It sounds like they had their minds definitely made up by what they heard, and you guys didn't know anything.
Obviously, maybe we'll just hand the show over to the audience next time. They can do the work.
Now they have had the opportunity or the burden to vote a Song of the Week before.
Indeed. A couple of times now. It's very rare, but it does happen.
It certainly does. Now, let's talk with John for a little bit, because John came all the way over to your place, and we're so happy you did, John, first of all, and welcome back to the broadcast.
Well, I'm really glad to see you guys again. It really keeps me in the running of the business, you know what I mean? And, I've just come out of the studio and finished an album with a band called Samandi after 2 years.
Now,
so
I know that you have been working very hard, very diligently with the guys from Samandi. You have also, your career is a long, illustrious, legendary career. And, gosh, what can you say about the things you've done over the years? Putting together Helen Shapiro, discovering Helen Shapiro, being involved in that, Walking Back to Happiness, putting that song together, Ivor Novello Award winner. I mean, you've just had an amazing career, and I think, from my perspective, I think the thing that amazes me most is being involved with introducing Motown over to the United Kingdom, which is just truly an amazing feat in itself.
Yeah, that happened in 1971, 72, and I entertained Berry Gordy. I took him out to dinner one night at the Talk of the Town in London and consummated a distribution deal for the Tamla Motown label. It had no distribution in England at that time. And I took over the reins of being a label manager with a small record company called Oriole, and created the Oriole American label, especially for the distribution of the Tamla Motown product. And for 2 years, whilst I was the label manager with Oriole, started putting out the Tamla Motown product, which, dare I say, nobody wanted to know. We couldn't get airplay on it or anything. Nobody, the BBC wanted to play it, but couldn't play it because it stood out in their programs too much against other type of material. And we had a major, major headache for 2 years of blood, sweat, and tears. And we came through with the first hit, which was Stevie Wonder's Fingertips Part 2.
Mm-hmm. I remember that very well.
That was our first hit. And do you know, after that broke the charts in England, we lost the deal with Motown and it went to EMI. And so, I feel proud in a way to have been associated and got Motown over to England. But few people know And it really sort of does upset me somewhat of the amount of work and belief that was done by the staff and myself in putting that Motown product out for those first 2 years. And for EMI to start putting it out and, come straight in with Mary Wells and all this, My Guy and all this stuff after what we'd done for the 2 years prior to it. It really sort of is quite upsetting, really.
Yeah, I can well imagine that it would be, but the feat in and of itself of being able to bring Motown to the UK is just a phenomenal thing, and I think you deserve huge congratulations from everybody in the UK and even from here in the United States, because without you, it probably wouldn't have happened anytime soon.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the product was so strong. I think it would have happened. It would have happened, but I was just. I foresaw it happening before it happened, and I heard it before it actually happened, and stuck with it. And and the funny thing was, because this product was heard in Liverpool, which is a port in the north of England, and all this early Motown stuff used to come into the port, and the bands in Liverpool, of which I took a mobile recording unit up to Liverpool and made 2 albums, and all these bands in Liverpool were playing Motown stuff that no one had ever heard before, because they got it off the ships. The ships came into the port and they heard this music before we ever heard anything of it. It was really, really strange, But I don't know. I feel very proud to have been involved with it and brought it over, but I also feel hurt that nobody recognised the work and the belief that me and my cohorts did with that label for those 2 years.
Now, you weren't just the man to sort of bring Motown to England. You also took the first British black band to break in America, didn't you? To chart in America.
Yeah, well, we're talking about Samandi again.
Yeah, we're going back to Samandi, but I think that's a relevant thing to talk about. I mean, you brought American music to England. You took exported English music out to America.
Well, that's right. And actually, it happened at the same time, because I found this black band, Samandi, in 1971, 72, which is around about the same time as as my time at Oriel, I think, or I think it was. I mean, but Samandi was completely unknown, and because I happened to know Marvin Schlachter at Chess Records, and he asked me what I was doing. I said I got involved with a black band, took me to the studio and cut 2 or 3 tracks with them. He said, "Why don't you let me hear it?" And I sent it over to him, and in 2 weeks' time, I got a really excited cable, and he wanted to put the product out. And that was the beginning of this tremendous thing with this band, and ended up with a top 20 single, The Message, and an album. They went to America and with a support group with Al Green, and amazing.
But it wasn't just Samadi you were working with then, but you had Alaska Records, didn't you?
Yes.
Which was a huge roster of artists.
Yes.
And that's just now been digitally distributed, isn't it?
Yes. My own label, Alaska Records, hasn't been released digitally since it was formed in 1972, and it is for the first time with a company called Resolution, and they are releasing Samandi, funny enough, the first 3 albums, digitally for the first time. Samandi's never been released digitally before, which is quite amazing.
Well, not legally.
Not legally, no.
So, I mean, and that's available now on iTunes and Amazon.
Well, presumably it is. I mean, I have to say, I'm not conversant with the modern method of selling music today, digital and iTunes and God knows what all this stuff is. So obviously, is fairly foreign to me, and it's a whole different ball game to what I'm used to of making records and finding tracks that are strong enough that might be singles, and making a chart record and an album that follows, are released in vinyl and all the rest of it. But it's a whole different ball game today, and it's funny enough that Alaska Records, and I've got a lot of product on Alaska Records, has never seen the light of day digitally until now. Mm. And this company is beginning to release it, and they've started to release Samandi, who's being the first artist. And pretty good, really. I'm really, really pleased.
But I mean, on the front of legal stuff, I mean, you found out that a lot of Samandi stuff and other artists has been sampled without you knowing about it. You're actually doing something about that, aren't you? You've set up a licensing company with a couple of friends.
Yes. I've got, dare I say, a lawyer and a licensing lady involved. We're tracing all the stuff that's been illegally put out there. And, I don't like to say pirated. I hate that word pirated and so on, but this is what happens. And a lot of my stuff has found its way into all sorts of places all over the world, particularly, Samandi. And we're beginning to track down a lot of it right now. And it's very interesting. I mean, the Fugees sampled Samandi years ago and sold 13 million records using one of my tracks.
And you sued them, right?
And we sued them, I have to say, yeah. But,
Funny now that Lauryn Hill's in prison for non-payment of taxes as well. Well, maybe a coincidence.
But, I don't like I hate the industry in this aspect of it. I like the industry to be positive and, about the music it makes, not all this stuff about lawyer cases and stealing things and pirating things.
Yeah. I mean, sitting on Wikipedia tonight, weren't we, with my wife beforehand, finding out that Aswad had covered the message and it's been used in, Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas.
Yes.
And Ocean's 11 and all this stuff that John's now got to go away and follow up.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, for me, it's taken me 2 years to put together a new Samandi album, which is I'm very involved with, and it's kept me alive really. But for 2 years we put this album together, and this is Samandi's 4th album. They've got a very strong fan following in England, and I believe that they've still got a following in America. So I'm looking towards good things with this new album. It is not totally different to what they did before, but I think it's much more commercial. But knowing what happened to them before, I want to try and protect the same thing happen again. That we can get some success with what we've actually done this time that is legally ours.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying I've heard the album, but I have heard it's very good, John.
Well, thank you for that, Ian. What your thoughts are very...
Is that correct?
Yes,
it's very good.
That's correct.
I mean, as the producer, is it very good?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I'll tell you what, we can't wait to hear it, and I certainly hope that once it's released, in fact, I will make this, I will say this, once it's released, I'll get a copy of it so I can hear it, that's for sure.
I want you both to hear it. I want your comments. I want to hear track-by-track comments from you guys.
A whole Samandi MSI ripped the album apart session. How about that?
There you go. Why not? You up for that,
we'll get
Tom?
Simon as a guest.
Are you up for that, Tom?
I'm anything John or Samandi does, I will listen to.
You can pull me apart, Tom. I don't mind.
We never pull apart, and you got to remember one thing: I'm a very opinionated mixer, and just because it's not done my way doesn't mean it's not done well.
That's not what you normally say.
Yeah, you're right, Ian. It's not. All right. And speaking of doing things or not, we do have 3 songs that we need to take a listen to today, gentlemen. So if you don't mind, let's go ahead and do that right now. Let's take a listen to song number 1 on today's Music Scene Investigation and find out what the panel has to say about it. Here is song number 1.
Drinking no smoke, that's wear my heart on my sleeve. And these emotions, they run too deep. But it's all good now, baby. 'Cause I can no longer keep the thought I'd ever had a shot. 'Cause what you see is what you get, and honey, this is all I've got. I can't fly no plane, I can't sail no yacht, I drink no smoke, that's all I've got. Admiration, love, and respect. With me, baby, that's all you'll get.
That's song number 1 on today's music scene investigation. I'm going to shake the review up a little bit and start with Tom on this one. Since we have both John and Ian in the same place, didn't figure it'd be fair to go to Ian, then over to Tom, then back to John. So what we'll do is we'll start with Tom first and find out what he thought. Tom, what do you think about track number 1?
Well, it's pretty well done. The production is good. Performances are there. I like the changes and stuff. Sonically, I've got problems with guitar sound and balances. I really didn't like the left-right panning of the lead vocal. I think he gave a good performance. I would have liked a stronger hook, background vocals. And the guitars just sounded, a little small. That lead guitar was very tiny. The mix had the size and weight. It just, again, a balance thing maybe, or... but my main problem, is I wanted a stronger hook, something more memorable. I'm old-fashioned like that. I think hooks, are something that should stay with you after the song is done. And you shouldn't remember the mix or the vocal or anything. You should just remember the hook. And this doesn't do that for me. But the performances are well. Panning on the drums kept changing. It went wide, then went narrow. And then the left-right panning of the vocal just ruins the track. I've done that, and it just never worked. And, to me, the vocal is an attention getter, draws you into the song. It's got to be dead center in the stereo field. It can be above the mix or set into the mix, and the level was a little inconsistent. The guitars were, sometimes blocking in the way of the vocal. But overall, it was a very good effort. It's a great demo. I just wish the song was a little stronger.
All right, Tom, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Now over to Mr. Ian Husbands and John Schroeder. I'll let you fight about it and figure out who's going to go first. But over to you guys.
I'm going to start with a question. Tom, it was your heart they looked at, not your hearing, wasn't it?
Why would you say that, sir?
Because I disagree with you, man. I don't think the performances were there.
I said that.
No, I don't think the performances were there. You said the performances were there. I mean, the electric guitars are fizzy, very top-endy. There's no weight to them whatsoever. The acoustic was out of tune. The vocals were set back, and I don't think his performance in fact, I found his performance quite annoying. It was almost like he was trying too hard, and it was almost a forced feel rather than actually feeling the music. Bass was flappy. There was just no solidness or weight to it. It was just sort of dull and lifeless. Drums I thought were very, very basic. I mean, there is a sense of songwriting here. The transition from the verse to the chorus worked. The movement into the middle eight worked. But what was that flute and string section all about? One, they sounded real low-quality samples, really, really low-quality samples. And two, they really had nothing to add or be part of this track. They sort of appear out of nowhere and then disappear into obscurity again. And I think they lent nothing towards the track. And my initial thought was, why not a guitar solo? And then the guitar solo started playing under the vocal in the outro, and I realised, well, there was no guitar solo because, again, it was out of tune. The sound was fizzy and thin and horrible, to be honest. And the bends were out of tune. There is an understanding of songwriting here, but from the point of view of capturing the sound and capturing the performance, I don't think any of that's been done adequately at all.
All right, Ian, I appreciate it. John, what did you think?
Yeah, well, I'm afraid I tend to agree with Ian. I think overall, the whole track sounds dated, rhythmically dated. It hasn't got a good feel about it. I use the word mess. I couldn't differentiate the song from the backing. Everything was happening. There's so much going on in the background that didn't allow the voice to have any breathing space. It didn't allow the song to have any breathing space. There might be a good song in there, but you can't hear it. It's just completely overpowered by all this backing noise, which is, even that is not done tastefully. The bridge, the part in the bridge where there was a instrumental interlude, was a total mess to me. I don't know. It's the vocal was okay, but it didn't have any mark of remembrance about it. I don't know. I found it very messy in a lot of ways. It was trying to oversell itself. There needs to be, a lot more light and shade about it. A lot more highs and lows, a lot more space. I didn't have that for me.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, gentlemen. Thank you very much, John. And I'll take and introduce that track to everybody. The name of that song and the artist, the name of it is called All You'll Get. It's by a group called Halfway, and we appreciate their sending that in to Music Scene Investigation. If you want your track... Sorry, Tom?
That actually describes that track. It's pretty much halfway done.
Okay, well, there you have it. Now, if you want your track in front of our panel at Music Scene Investigation, it's easy to do. All you have to do is go to musicsceneinvestigation.com. At the top of the page, you'll see a link to submit your song. Follow that link and follow the instructions. It'll take you less than 5 minutes to get through everything and get your song up. So we select 3 randomly every week for presentation to our panel. And they have no idea what they're going to hear before they hear it live on the broadcast. So that being said, we have 2 more songs to get to, gentlemen, and I want to hear what your thoughts are on these. So let's go ahead and listen to track number 2 on today's MSI. Here is track number 2, everybody. Enjoy.
He grabs the bottle. Yeah. He grabs the bottle with a grin. 'Cause in this battle, there's a killer. And in this battle, there's a sin. But it's not my turn. No, 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 be another victim of defeat. Maybe I'll drink tomorrow. Maybe I'll pass the bottle and pour the killer in the sin. 'Cause there was a time before you when everyone did what you do. But I think I won't do the same. Advantage of his life. 'Cause hell's a mystery that it used to be. And he's not coming home tonight. And it's not my turn. No, 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 to be another victim of defeat. Yeah, maybe I'll drink tomorrow. Maybe I'll pass the bottle and pour the killer in the sin. 'Cause there was a time before you when everyone did what you do. But I think I won't do the same. Na, 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 na. The bottle and pour the killer in the sin. Yeah. 'Cause there was a time before you when everyone did what you do. But I think I won't do the same.
Track number 2 on today's music scene investigation. There you have it. I want to go over to Ian Husbands and John Schroeder, find out their thoughts on this particular track. Gentlemen, what do you think?
Do you want to start this one?
Yeah, well, I was quite impressed, really. There's a voice, there was an attempt at a production. You could hear virtually every word the guy was singing about. I'm not sure about the subject of the song, or where it sits in today's marketplace, if you like. But it held my attention. I mean, I loved the opening, and when the voice came in and you heard it built, it was a little bit ragged in places. I think some better thought could have done from somewhere about the middle of it towards the end. But all in all, I think it did hold itself together. It was an interesting track. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think this started and John and I sort of gave each other a look and a little nod knowingly that this was going to be pretty good. Great piano sound. I did find the drums and the bass a little bit too set back for my liking. I'd like to hear them driving the track a little bit more. But the piano groove was just lush. It just, the way it just sat and it had you bobbing your head and tapping your foot along really, really quickly. Vocalist was very convincing. It had a bit of an edge of Sting in there, and the guy from Maroon 5 as well. In fact, you know, the track had a very general Maroon 5 feel to it across the board, I think, which, you know, they're doing very well. And on subject matter, a lot of it sounded like drinking. So
Yeah.
I'm all for a bit of a
Oh, for
drinking
that.
song, John. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Great performances. The real flute, unlike the last track, which had a synth flute on, was a really nice touch. Really liked that as well. I mean, overall, yeah, very, very, very strong track.
I think
love
if
the
it had been
arrangement.
done by if that song was done by a named group somewhere, it would have.
If it had Sting or Maroon 5 or someone
yeah,
doing
that's
it.
right. Someone
Yeah.
like that doing it, rather than
Even like
somebody
a John
unknown,
Mayer.
Yeah.
John Mayer, yeah, that could work.
Yeah, someone like that. Yeah, somebody known with that song would get much further with it than, no disrespect to that, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but really, his vocal was smooth, and even down to the scatting, where he was doing the little shubadoops and doobidoos and whatever else you do when you scat. It really, really worked very well, and I'd love to hear some more from this vocalist.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, gentlemen. Thank you. Let's go over to Tom in New York City. Tom, your thoughts, sir?
Well, in principle and generally, I agree with both John and Ian. My problem was I loved the piano in the intro. It set up a nice mood, and really, the syncopated playing was good. But then, it was a little bit too predominant throughout the track. That's why the drums seem set back. The problem, everything is there. This song has everything. The vocalist is great. I love his style of singing, very loose, very jazzy, like the Sting stuff, and it just had a nice swinging feel to it. And the only place it falls short is the mix in general. There are things, so many spaces outside of hard left and right that you can put things, and I didn't utilize that. It didn't have a strong hook, but the whole thing was interesting, so I really liked it. Like John said, it kept my interest. Ian referred to the scatting. Yeah, it got kind of lost. They should have boosted them, rid the vocals a little bit there to bring it up a little bit more. I mean, I'm nitpicking. It's like I said, everything that needs to be done is there. It just needs a better balanced mix that takes advantage of all the sound that they've recorded. It's recorded well, from what I can hear, and even a straightforward, well-balanced mix. Balances is everything in the mix. It can change your rhythm. It can hurt your ears or cut your hair or whatever. And if this thing was just balanced better, and maybe a little EQ here and there, I mean, it was clear and everything, it would make the drums and bass more pronounced, and the flute and the guitars, bring them a little closer in maybe and set them back. I mean, it was a very two-dimensional but wide mix. And the phone is going, so that's the band calling me, telling me I'm done.
That's probably true, Tom, but we appreciate your thoughts on that track. I'll take and introduce that track to everyone now that we've heard everyone's thoughts on the panel. The name of that track is called Killer and Sin, and it's by the group Lockstar. We appreciate Lockstar sending that track in to Music Scene Investigation. Now, Tom, I got to tell you, I don't know if you were listening into Twitter Tuesday Live on Tuesday night that we carry on MSI Radio.
He's not even there. He's not even listening to you.
Yeah, I know. He walked away. The band, was that the band, Tom?
Was what band?
The band we just talked about, Lockstar.
No, that wasn't the band. It was the band's manager and the band's mom.
Okay, all right. Anyway,
And the band's hitman.
And the band's hitman, yeah. Now,
I was actually the engineer.
I was just saying that on Twitter Tuesday Live this week, if you missed it, there was a nice conversation about you, Tom, that took place.
Oh, is this the conversation with Carol's nice little comment about it?
It actually is. I thought I'd bring that up because I do want to give the guys over at Butterflies Radio a lot of credit for the things they do on Tuesday for indie artists. But I gotta dig at them a little bit here, and I know it was a faux pas by Carol, but it was still rather funny. I'd sent a message out, saying that you were in hospital, that you were hopefully going to get out on Monday after, I talked to you after the broadcast and everything. And Carol sent out a tweet in reply saying, "I hope he dies." Which really she meant to type, "I hope he does," but she actually hit a couple of wrong keys and it come out, "I hope he dies." And I told her, I said, "I'm going to tell Tom you said that."
I know she doesn't mean it, but autocorrect sucks.
Exactly. So I told her I'd tell her you said that, and then you could have at her on Twitter and let her know exactly what you think.
She is a wonderful person. I know she didn't mean that. And if she did mean it, she meant it in the best possible way.
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean...
she wanted you to be out of pain, Tom. That's what it was.
That's
exactly
what it is. And she knows in my next life I'll do so much more.
There you exactly right. Exactly right. All right, we have one more track to listen to, everyone, so I'll let Carol off the hook for now as we take a listen to track number 3 on today's Music Scene Investigation. Enjoy, everyone.
Something's wrong with me. I can't concentrate. It's my destiny. I'm completing my fate. She's the one I know. What a beauty to see. She's the one with whom they say I should be. But nothing comes over me when we kissed. And oh, what a shame, this couldn't be it. Something's wrong with me. I'm losing my fate. It's a mystery, overshadowed by hate. She's been there all along. She's been holding me down like forever. Something tells me it's wrong, but right now I really need a lover. But nothing comes over me when we kissed. And oh, what a shame, this couldn't be it. And nothing comes over me when we kissed. And oh, what a shame, this couldn't be it. Something's wrong with me. But nothing comes over me when we kissed. And oh, what a shame, this couldn't be it. 'Cause nothing comes over me when we kissed. And oh, what a shame, this couldn't be it.
That is song number 3 on today's Music Scene Investigation. We'll head over to John and Ian. Let them tell us what they thought of that track. John, Ian, what do you guys think of track number 3?
Shall I take this one?
Yeah, you take
Go
it.
ahead.
Yeah. All right. This is obviously a work in progress. I hope it's a work in progress because I think there's a really strong idea here. I love the piano sound. The piano sound is lovely. And I love the drama that is being played out on that piano as well. It's got a real sense of urgency and something in it. I like the guy's voice. I like his timbre and his tone. He needs work on his diction. I don't know what he's doing.
Do you know what he's singing about?
It sounded like something about not. It sounds like a song about a girl, to be honest.
Is it?
Yeah, but I was going to say he needs work on his diction. He seems to be cutting the lines off really quickly on the verses. It gets better in the choruses. I mean, he's got a very powerful voice, and he obviously is, can use it. But we need to hear the words properly, and cutting them off really sharply like that just doesn't work for me in that aspect. I mean, he's got good pitching and he's got good rhythm, but he's just not singing it understandably enough. Basically, diction. Work on that. Want to hear the words. I felt for the sake of this recording, the vocal was too dry, needed a bit more reverb. And obviously there's a lot that could be done with this. I mean, I was hearing some sort of staccato sort of da strings in there and some real sweeping sort of undertones of cellos and stuff like that. Or you could take this in the opposite direction and go really industrial on it, sort of the Nine Inch Nails, Trent Reznor sort of style, where you've got some sort of real distorted program beats coming in and add the drama that way. But it needs more drama. It needs to build. It needs, them sort of really dramatic strings and that coming in to give it the power and work on his diction. Someone said Fine Young Cannibals in the chat room, and I think, yeah, that is a really good observation for who his voice sounds like. Go on, John. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, I don't think you're wrong. I think you're wrong. It's the main contention for me. I couldn't understand the word that the guy was singing about. That was a big thing for me. I love the piano sound like Ian did. And it started off with 8 bars or 16 bars of piano, of quite aggressive piano, and then there was a stop, and then it went into an arpeggio. And just at that moment, you felt something else should happen there. There was no voice. Something that could have been the start of the song, but it wasn't. Why put all that heavy-duty piano in the beginning and not leave it till later? Or, what was the purpose of it? The piano arrangement was confusing. Although the piano sound and the drama the piano instilled was fascinating, I couldn't link that to this song. The guy's got an interesting voice, but what was he singing about? I couldn't understand, really, the whole thing. It sounded a sort of musical mess, but a pleasant one, dare I say. But it needed, as you said, it needed sorting out. And the arrangement needs to be built somewhere through it. You need some other colour coming into it. It's predominated by the piano, which is fine, but it needn't be so aggressive throughout the song and dominate the whole thing, and the listener doesn't really know what the song is all about. And the voice is interesting, but I can't for the life of me understand what he was trying to say. Overall, I don't know, a nice musical sort of bit of a mess, but pleasant.
All right, I appreciate that.
Pleasant mess.
All right, John, I appreciate that. Tommy, what do you think of track 3?
I have to agree with both John and Ian, and John is very astute about what he was saying, and Ian also about the diction. Elocution in expression is, the rain in Spain sort of thing. He's got a great style of vocal. He's got to really develop it a little bit more. And I agree with everybody. It's a great piano sound. I believe it's a sample because I didn't hear any foot pedal noise or anything like that. But it's an excellent sample because you don't get the low keys on the right and high keys in the left, It fully filled out the stereo spectrum. So it was whatever he's using was excellent. A little bit heavy on the sustain pedal. Maybe if you used reverb, some pre-delay also. And as to the song, it seems like to me it's a live take. He's a singer-songwriter who plays good piano, and he did this. And it's a beautiful idea, and there are so many directions, like Ian said, you could go with it. It's got a lot of potential. Even if you just keep it going with the piano and the vocal. Like John said, the piano really needs to be thought out more, cleaned up a bit, a little bit more dynamic and not so much, planned dynamics instead of just mayhem dynamics. That's maybe the mess that John was alluding to.
Yes.
I give him, great grades for trying and a great voice, and it just needs to a producer to sit down with it, decide on a direction, have him. The beginning his vocal was kind of weak, and then he got into it, and then I really liked it. But like Ian says, he's really got to pronounce and separate the words, and even make the vocal a little bit louder would have helped that, or a little bit of compression in EQ. Overall, it's an excellent start to what could be a very, very good track, and it just needs production and direction.
All right, Tom, I appreciate it. Thank you so very much. All right, let me introduce that track to everyone. The name of that track is track number 2. So track number 3, track number 3 today was track number 2 by Mark Anthony Clennon. Now, I got to let everybody know, I call the tracks as they're submitted. So if the file name on your track is, as you see here, track 2, that's what I'm going to call it. So do me a favor, if you submit music to Music Scene Investigation, make sure your ID 3 tags are proper and correct. Then I'll know the name of the track. I'll have the proper name of the artist if the artist is a band. I'll have the name of the band there and so forth and so on that we can use when we give you credit when we play your song back on the show. So please check your ID3 tags when submitting. But we do appreciate Mark Anthony Clennon for sending his song in to Music Scene Investigation today. And as Ian said earlier in the chat room, we definitely want to hear what you thought of all 3 tracks today. So go ahead and fill out a witness statement at musicsceneinvestigation.com/witness. Let us know your thoughts on all 3 tracks today and what song you think should be Song of the Week. Now, gentlemen, you do have the opportunity to let us know what you think right now, because it's up to you to select the Song of the Week. So I turn it over to you.
Well, for me, it's easy. I'm going to go for track 2. Song 2.
I knew you were going to do that.
It's, it really does stand out this week as being the best song there. I mean, props to number 3. I think the guy's got a lot of talent, and I think with a bit of work, that is going to be a great song. But, number 3 presents itself in a finished way, and the vocalist is fantastic, and the groove is great, so that's the choice for me.
All right, John?
I have to agree with Ian. I think it's... is it track 2, the second one we heard?
Song 2, not track 2, because track 2 is number 3.
The second one we heard.
So we want to go for number 2. Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's
it's
right.
getting confusing, Rich.
Yeah.
And it is. It is.
Yeah, it is. I think the first one is out of the window for many reasons we've given. And it was the second one that has got the potential. The third one has, but needs a lot of sorting out. And I agree with Ian.
All right, and Tom?
Well, who am I to disagree with the great team of Ian and John?
You're Tom Chianti.
I'm going to go with who's on first. I don't know who's on third. And yesterday is pitching. So, song number 2.
All right, so song number 2, track number 2 is out, and song number 2 is in. So there you have it, everyone. Lockstar, with their track Killer and Sin, is going to be this week's Song of the Week. How did the audience vote? Well, we'll find out next week when we bring you the witness statements right here on MSI. You're going to have to tune in to find out how everybody filed their statements, I guess. So It's just
Please
the
don't
way.
disagree with this week.
No, I think everybody in the chat I saw they kept going number two, number two.
Well,
Well, I've just had a look at the preliminary results, and everyone agrees with this so far.
but we'll see next week what the official vote is. So until then, get your votes in. As they say in Chicago, vote often because every vote counts.
Yeah.
So,
Especially when you vote twice under different names.
well, we don't take names. We don't. That's we don't do that, Tom. That would be discrimination. So we don't check IDs at the door. So anyway, please file your witness statements. John, we want to thank you so very much for being with us, and it's great to have you back on the show with us.
Well, it's been my pleasure. I really, really enjoy being here. I love seeing you guys, and you're doing a great job. Fantastic. It's great fun. Thank
And
you.
we really look forward to hearing some Mandy's new album. When do we think we might be able to see that?
Leading question.
Leading question. I really don't know. You know as much as I do at the moment, but it is there, and that's what I'm working on it right now. And you should be one of the first to hear it. Hopefully,
We're
I'm
definitely
really looking forward to you coming back to me and what you think about it. I really would like to know that.
we're definitely looking forward to it, and we certainly hope to have you back with us again very soon. So tell Ian to write you another check.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much.
Ian,
Here
Tom,
we go again.
as well.
I'd like to echo what Pinky said in the chat. By the way, I hope the NSA enjoyed the show today. I really do hope they're listening in and they learned something from it.
I hope they vote.
Yeah, actually, we could use 86 or 90,000 votes. So NSA, if you're out there listening, which we know you are, please file your witness statements as well. We will present them to Congress as appropriate.
That's
All right.
appropriated.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining us on MSI this week. Please join us this Wednesday when we'll have our hit list broadcast over on MSI Radio. It's musicsceneinvestigation.com/radio. That's at 5:30 this Wednesday. It's every second Wednesday of the month. We have 4 great songs which we'll be bringing to you this coming week. We have Chris Ryan's Learn to Love going up against Harmonic Generator, Nobody Dies, The Seventh Green, He Works Through Her, and Jamie Alamurad's That's What She Said. So that's on the hit list this Wednesday on MusicSceneInvestigation.com.
Yes, it will be.
It really will be, and I'm looking forward to seeing what everybody has to say about that. So until then, we're going to leave you with song number 2 called Killer and Sin by Lockstar, this week's Song of the Week. Enjoy, everybody. We'll see you right here again next week on Music Scene Investigation.
And I promise to be back. I promise.
Bye.
Something's wrong with me. I can't concentrate. He grabs the bottle. Yeah. He grabs the bottle with a grin. 'Cause in this battle, there's a killer. And in this battle, there's a sin. But it's not my turn. No, 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 to be another victim of defeat. Maybe I'll drink tomorrow. Maybe I'll pass the bottle and pour the killer in the sin. 'Cause there was a time before you when everyone did what you do. But I think I won't do the same. No, 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 no. takes advantage of his life. 'Cause hell's a mystery that it used to be, and he's not coming home tonight. And it's not my turn, no, 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 to be another victim of defeat. Yeah, maybe I'll drink tomorrow, and maybe I'll pass the bottle and pour the killer in the sin. 'Cause there was a time before you when everyone did what you do, but I think I won't do the same. Na, 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 na. Maybe I'll drink tomorrow, maybe I'll pass the bottle and pour the killer in the soup. Yeah. 'Cause there was a time before you when everyone did what you do,